They're compact, lethal, and designed to operate where chaos reigns. In narrow hallways, dark alleys, or even inside moving vehicles, these weapons redefined how urban combat plays out. And as much as their engineering fascinates us, the real-world impact they've had raises an unsettling question. Should these weapons have ever existed? Few realize it, but some of the most well-known submachine guns on the planet were born out of war, oppression, and even urban repression. Built to give a single soldier the firepower of an entire team, many of them ended up in the wrong hands, fueling brutal conflicts and some of the darkest chapters in history. And there lies the dilemma. How can something so small cause so much destruction? Today, we're diving into the darker side of the weapons world, exploring the most deadly submachine guns ever made, high rate of fire machines built for one purpose only: close quarters devastation. Stick around until the end, because the number one gun on this list carries a history so intense, you'll understand why it's still remembered today as one of the most lethal weapons ever built. Ingram MAC-10. Born in the late 1960s, the Ingram MAC-10 emerged during a chaotic time when urban conflicts demanded new, brutal solutions. Designed by Gordon B. Ingram in the United States, this weapon was meant to be compact, cheap, and ridiculously easy to mass produce. And it delivered on all fronts. The MAC-10 quickly became a symbol of raw firepower packed into a tiny frame at just over 10 inches long and weighing under 7 pounds. It was built to be fired with one hand, something unheard of for full auto weapons at the time. Technically, it's a fully automatic submachine gun, typically chambered in 45 ACP or 9mm. It uses a straight blowback system with an insanely high fire rate, up to 1,200 rounds per minute. Essentially, it's a machine gun you can fit in a backpack. Its recoil is intense and hard to control, which limited its use among official police and military units, but its size and ease of production made it a favorite for guerrilla warfare, black ops missions, and, unfortunately, organized crime. The MAC-10 sound is loud, dry, and unmistakable, a metallic roar in rapid bursts.
No recoil!
Nice!
In hand, it feels like a block of raw steel, sharp edges, aggressive lines, as if it was carved to intimidate. It saw some use with U.S. Special Forces during the Vietnam War, but its lack of control and accuracy quickly phased it out of official service. Still, it became a cultural icon, appearing in dozens of movies and video games. Few people know that the CIA actually distributed silenced MAC-10s for covert missions across Latin America. The perfect package: lethal, discreet, and disposable. If this one already sounds wild, just wait until you see what's next. Micro Uzi. The Micro Uzi is the definition of power in miniature. Designed by Israel Military Industries in the 1980s, it's a downsized version of the iconic Uzi, which was already a legend in urban warfare. At under 8 inches long and just over 2 pounds, the Micro Uzi is carried like a pistol, but delivers a fire rate that rivals much larger weapons. It fires 9mm rounds at an incredible 1,200 rounds per minute, operated via direct blowback. It can switch between full auto and semi-auto modes depending on the version. The recoil is surprisingly heavy for its size, demanding training and control. Its rear grip, compact frame, and stamped steel body make it tough, but tricky to aim in long bursts. Its firing sound is sharper and higher pitched than the classic Uzi, like rapid, dry pops in tight succession. In hand, it feels dense, focused, like all of its aggression is compressed into a metal block. It was used by Israeli special forces and exported worldwide, but it also fell into the wrong hands, adopted by paramilitary groups, cartels, and terrorist organizations due to its portability and concealability. Few people realize that by the 1990s, the micro Uzi had become one of the most confiscated firearms in anti-drug operations across South America. Think that's insane? The next one has an even more unbelievable story. CZ Scorpion Evo 3. Built in the Czech Republic in the early 2000s, the CZ Scorpion Evo 3 is one of the most modern and scariest submachine guns in terms of efficiency. Manufactured by Česká zbrojovka Uherský Brod, the Evo 3 represents a new generation of tactical weaponry, lightweight, modular, and highly precise. Made mostly from high-strength polymer, it weighs just over 4 pounds and has incredibly manageable recoil. It fires 9mm rounds at a steady 1,000 rounds per minute with selectable firing modes, semi-auto, 3-round burst, or full auto. Its closed-bolt blowback system ensures tighter accuracy, especially in short bursts. Visually, it's futuristic, with Picatinny rails, a folding stock, and ergonomic grips. The firing sound is muffled, sharp, and controlled. With a suppressor, it becomes almost ghost-like in urban settings. Special forces and police units across Europe have adopted it widely due to its reliability and adaptability. But it's also been spotted in Middle Eastern conflict zones, where smuggled versions made their way into irregular forces. Here's something most people don't know. Despite being modern, the Evo 3 was inspired by a prototype from the 1960s that never made it to production, a Czech design decades ahead of its time. If you're into this kind of content and loving this journey through the world of weapons, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Now get ready, because the next weapon is a true modern combat legend. Heckler & Koch MP5. When it comes to submachine guns, few are as iconic as the MP5. Developed by Heckler & Koch in West Germany in the late 1960s, it quickly became the gold standard for police and military forces worldwide. The MP5 was born a legend. It uses a roller-delayed blowback system inherited from H&K's rifles, delivering the perfect balance of power and control. Chambered in 9mm, it fires at around 800 rounds per minute. Its accuracy is one of its strongest points. Tight groupings at short to mid-range, even in controlled bursts. Recoil is minimal, ergonomics are excellent, and the firing action is crisp and clean, almost surgical. Visually, the MP5 has that classic tactical charm, compact design, dark finish, and a distinct metallic clack that became iconic in movies, TV shows, and video games. In hand, it feels solid and balanced. Smooth to operate, comfortable to wield. Its real-world application is vast. Used by SWAT teams, elite forces, the British SAS, and anti-terror units in over 100 countries, it remained the gold standard for urban operations for decades. Most impressively, it was the weapon used during the famous Iranian embassy hostage rescue in London 1980, when SAS agents stormed the building in a live broadcast that stunned the world. Despite its reputation, the MP5 has also been involved in controversial missions carried out by authoritarian regimes, giving it a dual legacy of precision and fear. And if you think the MP5 is powerful, the next one takes that concept straight into the 21st century. Heckler & Koch MP7. The MP7 represents the evolution of urban warfare. Designed in the late 1990s by Heckler & Koch, it was created to solve a modern problem: bulletproof vests. As body armor became more common, traditional handgun rounds started losing their effectiveness. That's when the MP7 entered the scene with a bold purpose, armor-piercing speed with total control. Its standout feature is its unique 4.6 by 30mm cartridge, a lightweight, high-velocity round designed to pierce Kevlar at over 200 meters. It fires at around 950 rounds per minute, and thanks to its reduced recoil system, it stays controllable even in full auto mode. Extremely light and made from reinforced polymer, the MP7 weighs just over 3 pounds. It has a retractable stock, accessory rails, and ergonomic grips. Visually, it looks like it came straight out of a futuristic video game, and in many ways, it did. In hand, the MP7 feels light, stable, and comfortable. The firing sound is sharp and high-pitched. With a suppressor, it becomes eerily silent, perfect for stealth missions.
Oh yeah.
It's then adopted by elite units like Germany's GSG-9, US Delta Force, and SEAL Team 6. Its versatility makes it ideal for counterterrorism, close protection, and high-risk urban infiltration. But it hasn't escaped controversy. In 2 covert operations in the Middle East, Egypt's armed with MP7s were accused of extrajudicial killings in civilian zones, sparking international outcry and raising ethical concerns around the weapon's use. Still, the MP7's performance and design have secured its place as one of the most respected SMGs today. And if you're into powerful, historical, or downright unique firearms, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell, because what's coming next will blow your mind. The next weapon is one of the biggest tactical icons of all time, and its design changed everything. FNP-90. This is, without question, one of the most exotic and futuristic firearms ever deployed. The FNP-90, created in Belgium in the late 1980s by Fabrique Nationale, had one clear mission: create a compact submachine gun that could defeat body armor in tight urban environments. Its appearance grabs attention instantly. The P90 has an unconventional layout, central grip, built-in stock, and a top-mounted transparent magazine that holds 50 rounds of 5.7 by 28mm ammo, specifically designed to pierce light armor. It fires at 900 rounds per minute, with minimal recoil thanks to its bullpup configuration, where the action sits behind the trigger, allowing for a longer barrel in a compact frame. In practice, it's incredibly ergonomic and fully ambidextrous. The firing sound is tight and smooth, and the weapon handles like an extension of the body, fast, silent, and precise. It's been adopted by special forces around the world, including the French Presidential Guard, the US Secret Service, and various NATO units. It's become a go-to for VIP protection, counter-terror ops, and high-mobility patrols. But what really made the P90 famous was its massive pop culture presence. It appeared in dozens of movies, games, and shows. From Stargate to Call of Duty and Ghost Recon, that exposure gave it a near-mythical status among modern firearm fans. Few people know this, but the P90's ammo was so controversial that many countries banned civilian sales, classifying it as military-grade due to its armor-piercing capabilities. And if that one was different, the next weapon combines innovation, firepower, and aggressive aesthetics like no other. Heckler & Koch UMP-45. At its core, the UMP-45 is a modern, heavier-hitting successor to the legendary MP5. Released by Heckler & Koch in the late 1990s, it was built with a clear mission: cut production costs, increase stopping power, and meet new tactical demands. Its name stands for Universal Machine Pistol, and it truly lives up to that title. Constructed with a lightweight polymer body, it's much lighter than the MP5 and fires .45 ACP rounds, making it incredibly deadly at close range. Its fire rate is slower, around 600 to 700 rounds per minute. But that's by design, to enhance control and accuracy. Even with the heavier ammo, recoil is moderate, thanks to its smart buffer system. Visually, the UMP is clean and modern. Its squared-off lines, aggressive styling, and comfortable grip give it a tough, no-nonsense look. The sound is deep and punchy. Each shot feels like a steel hammer hitting air. It's been used by countless police and military forces, particularly across Europe and North America. However, the .45 caliber limited its export to some regions due to logistics and compatibility. Few people realize that the UMP was stress-tested in extreme environments, from -20-degree cold to desert heat over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and passed with flying colors. Think the UMP is heavy? The next weapon looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie, but it's as real as it gets. Chris Vector. The Chris Vector is nothing short of a modern engineering masterpiece. Developed by Chris USA, a Swiss-founded company based in the US, the Vector debuted in the early 2000s with a radical mission: redefine how a submachine gun manages recoil. And that's exactly what it did. Its revolutionary Super V system redirects recoil energy downward instead of back, drastically reducing muzzle climb during rapid fire. The result? A weapon that fires .45 ACP rounds in full auto with almost no vertical rise, even at up to 1,200 rounds per minute. Visually, it looks like it stepped out of a sci-fi film. Angular lines, futuristic build, reinforced polymer frame, and modular components. Its sound is low and rhythmic, and in hand, it feels like a precision tool rather than a combat weapon. And that's exactly what makes it so deadly. The Vector is compact and can be used with or without a folding stock, almost like a large pistol. It supports quick caliber swaps and modular configurations, making it adaptable for nearly any mission. It's been embraced by tactical law enforcement, special operations teams, and has become a favorite among collectors and enthusiasts. But it's also appeared in the hands of paramilitary groups in conflict zones, where high-tech arms leak onto the black market. In pop culture, it's become an icon in games like Call of Duty, Ghost Recon, and Rainbow Six Siege. And here's a little-known fact. Japan's federal police once tested the Chris Vector for indoor operations due to its pinpoint accuracy and low recoil, something unthinkable just 2 decades ago when only domestic weapons were considered. If the Vector felt too modern, get ready. The next weapon is nearly a century old and has claimed thousands of lives, becoming the symbol of an entire era. Thompson M1928. Known around the world as the Tommy gun, the Thompson M1928 is one of the most legendary submachine guns ever built. Designed by John T. Thompson in 1921 in the US, it was meant for military use, but quickly became a symbol of the American Mafia, World Wars, and gangster cinema. The M1928 fires .45 ACP rounds at up to 750 rounds per minute. Its open-bolt blowback system, combined with its hefty 11-pound weight, helped keep recoil manageable, even with the powerful ammo. Aesthetically, it's a mix of elegance and brute force, with rich wooden furniture, polished steel body, and the iconic drum magazine holding 50 to 100 rounds, made famous in 1920s Chicago. In hand, the Thompson feels heavy, solid, and historic. Its sound is deep and deliberate, an audible echo of the Prohibition era. Yes, it was heavy, but it delivered unmatched firepower for its time. It saw widespread use by U.S. forces in World War II, in both the Pacific and European theaters. In trench combat and tight village fights, it was absolutely devastating. But its darker side is just as powerful. The Tommy gun became Al Capone's weapon of choice, used in public executions and brutal urban gunfights. It was so feared that locals nicknamed it the Chicago typewriter, for how it stitched enemies with lead. Few people know that by the 1950s, the M1928 was also used as a ceremonial weapon in veteran parades. Such was its symbolic weight. And if the Thompson captured the chaos of the 20s and 40s, the next weapon represents something even bigger: a full-scale revolution of steel and fire in the heart of total war. PPSH-41. The PPSH-41 is not just a submachine gun. It's a symbol of Soviet resistance in World War II, and possibly the deadliest mass-produced SMG in history. Developed in 1941 by Georgy Shpagin as Nazi forces invaded the Soviet Union, the PPSH had one goal: deliver maximum firepower with minimal resources in the shortest time possible. And the result was devastating. Built with stamped parts, easy to assemble, and tolerant of extreme conditions, the PPSH fired 7.62 by 25mm rounds at an insane rate of 1,100 rounds per minute. That meant a Soviet soldier with a PPSH could clear an enemy trench in seconds. Equipped with a 71-round drum or 35-round stick mags, it was heavy, sure, but incredibly reliable. Its open-bolt blowback system made it simple to operate and maintain. Even in snow, mud, or freezing temperatures, its sound was unforgettable, fast. Stuttering bursts like a choking engine. In hand, the wood and steel balance gave it weight and presence. It was made to survive winter, dirt, war, and still keep firing. Used on every front of World War II, the PPSH was mass-issued to Soviet troops. Its impact was so huge that even German soldiers began using captured units, often preferring it over their own weapons. After the war, it spread to dozens of countries, appearing in Korea, Vietnam, Africa, and Latin America. What few people know is that the sound of the PPSH became a psychological weapon. Soviet troops would fire it into the air just to demoralize enemies, because everyone knew what that sound meant. With over 6 million units produced, the PPSH-41 remains the most mass-produced submachine gun in history, and its existence is a brutal reminder of how war can turn even simple tools into engines of mass destruction. Today, we looked at rare, historic, deadly, and even bizarre firearms, each one with its own unique story, submachine guns that shaped wars, fueled revolutions, and left behind a trail of fear and fascination. These aren't just weapons, they're symbols of eras, battles, and entire ways of life. They're part of history, and in many cases, they changed its course. Now tell me in the comments, which of these submachine guns impressed you the most? Which one would you love to own, or just see up close someday? If you're into this kind of content, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, because every week we drop new videos on the most curious, powerful, and legendary weapons the world has ever seen. See you in the next video.